What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV Daily, your source for daily tech news. Make sure you subscribe so you know what's going on in the world of tech. How is everyone doing? I hope you're having a fantastic day. We have a few news stories for you and a couple of questions. So without further ado, let's get into the tech news. Our first story of the day has to do with the Nothing phone because they just launched the Nothing launcher, and it's really easy to download. I have it linked down below in the show notes, so check those out in the description. Here it is. I installed it on my Galaxy S22 Ultra. You can install it on some phones. I know, like the Pixel phones, some of the Galaxy S phones. You can't put it on the Z Fold line, or maybe you could I don't know. You can't do it off the Google Play Store, but on the Google Play Store, you just download it, and it's pretty no frills. I put some of the widgets that come with it, such as the clock and the weather, and you swipe up and down. It's black and white. Again, it's pretty no frills. There's no Google part over to the side, the Google feed. If you want to make your icons bigger, you press and hold on them. Let's just go here, press and hold, and then you get it's not showing right there. Let me see. There we go. You can click that. I can't do it because it's my things there, but you can make them bigger and smaller that way by pressing and holding on them. So kind of no frills, but if you wanted to try it, I have it linked down below. And just a little bit of further information, Nothing Company they already have earphones out. They're coming out with a phone, and they were started by Carl Pye, who helped start OnePlus and blah, 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 blah. So just keep your eye on them. They will have a new phone coming out, I think this year. I believe it's this year. Next up is about the Galaxy folding phones that are going to be coming out, because Samsung has officially confirmed them, because they talked about their sales thus far this year, and they're really, really good. And they also talked about this. As you can see from the headline, Samsung has confirmed new foldable smartphones are coming. And this is coming from the VP of Samsung's mobile business, Kim Sung-koo, hinted at the upcoming foldable smartphones. We are currently all hands on deck regarding preparing the new foldable model scheduled for launch in the second half. He also went on to say that Samsung is looking to make foldable smartphones a main column next to the Galaxy S series with our business. And I've said this, and I continue to say this, these will be, and I really think so, I think these phones will take over in sales within the next 5 years, regular candy bar phones. Now, I don't think it will happen until Apple officially does it, because Apple, especially here in America, is really, really a catalyst for, they might not come out with the technology first, but they really push it, and things change once they do it. So I really think at that point, once Apple does it, which the rumored times are 2024-ish, that they would come out with their foldable phones, that's when you will see mass appeal come to these phones. Samsung's in the right direction. I love what Samsung's doing. I love what Huawei's doing. I love what Oppo's doing. I love what everybody's doing with it. Don't get me wrong, but the mass appeal factor will not happen until Apple officially does it. And I can't wait, because it's the most exciting part of smartphones in my head. And then, I don't know, there's just so much they can do with it. So that's why it's so interesting. Now, speaking of the Galaxy Z Fold 4 and Z Flip 4, we've heard mostly some good things, especially lately, about the Galaxy Z Fold 4. And I personally, before I even get into this news story, I personally think it'll be a pretty good upgrade. Now, there won't be S Pen support, but beyond that, I still think there will be enough here to warrant an upgrade, especially if you're a user daily of this phone, because you know of its shortcomings. Or if you're waiting, if you should get the Fold 3 or Fold 4, I think it'll be a reason to wait for the Fold 4. But with that said, let's get into this tweet from Chun. Now, Chun is saying that the Galaxy Z Folds, the Flip and the Fold, in 2022, in a nutshell, are basically S versions of the Z 2021 versions of the phone, aka Z Fold 4 is more like a Z Fold 3S, and the Z Flip 4 is more like a Z Flip 3S. Now, he's getting those names from iPhones. iPhone in the past, they'd go like iPhone 5 and then iPhone 5S, so it was like a minimal upgrade. So that's what he's saying. It's probably going to be a minimal upgrade. And there are also some questions down below. Alex asked, any word on better under display camera? He said 2 to 3 times better than current under display camera, although I wouldn't recommend you trust that number though, just to be honest. So they don't change much was asked by Raynell, and again, Chun said nope, especially the Flip 4. So again, it all goes back to what should we expect. I stand by what I said in the beginning of this, where I said the Z Fold 4 I think will be a pretty good upgrade, enough to make most people upgrade or want to get that phone over the Z Fold 3. Now the Z Flip 4 versus the Z Flip 3, that's what I've heard too, is that it's not a huge upgrade. Now, it doesn't mean nothing's gonna be upgrade. It just means I think like the majority of things that people might want to change or improve might not come to that phone. But you can also expect that that phone might be even cheaper than it was last year. And it started off at $999 last year. So if they can get that even lower, that's gonna bring more people into that camp, getting used to the flips and the folding phone. So I think it's gravy at the end of the day, because most people don't even need the best of the best of the best. Do they want the best? Yes. Do they need it? Probably not. But it's always good to see progression in specs and performance and quality of features, and hopefully they still bring that to the Z Flip 4. Thanks for watching, guys. Your question of the day is, what do they need to do to the Z Flip phones to make them feel next generation versus the Z Flip 3? Let me know in the comments down below. With that said, let's jump into the Q&A portion of the video and drop that beat. First question of the day comes from Just Amateur Tech, also known as Phil PJ Davis. He says, question, does this Tab S8 Ultra replace your laptop or PC? Can I transfer everything from a PC to the Tab, including icons? No, you can't. Your PC is going to be running a Windows, so you can't transfer your icons and things like that. For me, did it replace my laptop? Definitely not. I mean, the reason I really use a laptop is for video editing. I do some web surfing and things like that, but it's generally for video editing on the go. And then my desktop is for everything else. I mostly just use my desktop. So the tablet for me is research that I'll do for work, checking out stories occasionally, and then it's also for fun. So it's a little bit of both. But for me, I could not replace my tablet that specific tablet over my laptop and my computer. And our last question comes from YouTube Pro. Do you think that the Sony Xperia 1, is that 9? 4? 9. 4. Will have an 8K resolution display with 120 Hertz when it's coming out to TVs this year, but when Sony introduced a 4K phone, they charged a fee to upgrade to 4K, and last year with the Sony Xperia 1 III was rumored to have 8K display from a few rumors, but it didn't end up happening because the phone is rumored to cost $1,400 to $1,600, which is $300 increase in just 1 year. Really charge $1,600, which means yes, I would expect 8K display for $1,600. What else do you think will come with the Sony Xperia 1 IV? I don't really follow the Sony phones all that much. Do I think they'll have an 8K display on a screen that small? No. Should they? Right now, no. So the increase is probably going to be obviously better specs, probably a better 4K display overall versus the last year's, with brightness and just quality overall. And then also better cameras, just better feature set. And then you get to factor in the cost that with the cutbacks and the slowdowns from COVID, that also would potentially affect the cost of materials and goods and things like that. So I think that's where all that stuff comes into play with the price increase. So there you guys go. Thank you for your questions. If you have a question, leave it in the comments down below with the word question, and we'll see you down the road. Peace.